Hello, Basic Math 7 people. We are going on to the next section in Chapter 9. It's 9.3. On these, you're going to get basically 4 different types of ways that they're going to talk about how to use percents and finding out percents of things, okay, and computing with percents. So what you need to be able to do is read a word sentence and create a number sentence out of it. Okay, so we're going to talk about that today. Today we're going to work with this phrase. What percent of, and they'll usually give a number, and then they'll put the word is, and then they'll give another number. Okay, so when we break that down into what is a number sentence, we're going to say percent. The word of, if we remember right, gives us the operation of multiplication, and then a number we don't know. The word is always stands for equals. So whenever we see that word is equals, and then they give us another number. So let me find one here just to practice with. So one that they give us up in the class exercises, they say, what percent of 650 is 130? So when I convert this, I don't know what my percent is. Okay? So what I do is I do a little bit of algebra that we've been practicing. So what we do is we go ahead and do the opposite of multiply to both sides, so we get our percent by itself. So when we do that, we're going to divide by 650. 130 divided by 650. Okay? So these cancel out, and then I don't know what the percent of this is. Well, now I have it in a fraction form. If you recall yesterday, we made fractions into decimals, and then we turned those decimals into percents. That's what you're going to be doing today. Every single problem will be exactly like this. We take the number that is here, right behind the of, and divide it into the number that's at the end of the sentence. You're only going to have 5 of these problems to do today. 5, okay? So work through each one of them. And I don't think there's anything super tricky about them. Let me look at number 17. That's the furthest one down. No, it's not super tricky, except for the fact that that one's going to be over 100% when you do it. Just divide it correctly and move your decimal right, and you'll be okay. So let's do this one. Right now, I know that I just basically see this. I see that there's a 0 at the end of both of these. And when I see that, then I can start to say, well, they're both divisible by 10. So I'm going to reduce my numbers down so I don't have as big of a set of numbers to divide by. So I'm going to divide both of these by 10 first. And that makes it only 13 over 65. Because 130 divided by 10 is 13, and 650 divided by 10 is 65. That makes it easier for me to do math this way now. So now I'm going to take 65 and divide it into 13. Now I add a decimal and a 0, and I go, okay, how many times does 65 go into 13? I'm going to guess 2. Let's see how I do. 2 times 5 is 10. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Hey, awesome. I got it on the first try. There's nothing left. So I've changed it into a decimal, 0.2. Now I have to make it into a percent. You remember how to do that, because we're asking our answer, what is the percent, not what the decimal is. So I have to change my decimal answer into a percent. Remember, I do that by moving the decimal to the right 2 places. What happened here is I have a swoop and there's no number there. When that happens, I have to add a 0. So my answer for my practice problem here is 20%. Okay? after I get it all done, my answer would be 20% on that one. Okay. So, let's see. Let's set up our problems and we'll put them into division type areas and then I'll let you go on, okay? I'll let you do the figuring and changing it to a percent. Okay, so number one says, here, I'm going to change my little thing. Here's number one. Number one says, what percent of 225 is 90? Once again, percent times 225 equals 90. Okay, we need to be thinking about this way in our mind. Divide by 225 on both sides. That's the next step. Okay, and then we set up our decimal here. Okay, and away you go. That's how you set it up. At the end, take whatever your answer is, move your decimal to the right twice, and then give me a percent sign, okay? There's number one. That's how we set it up. Okay, look at number, what do we got? 4. Okay, oh, numbers changed here. So it says, what percent of 150 is 48? Okay, percent times 150 means equals 48. Next step, divide by 150. Next step, take that 48, divide it by 150, add a decimal and a 0, and away you go. Remember, at the end, move your decimal 2 places over. Okay? One thing I want to caution you on. It tells you to, in the directions, round your answer to the nearest 1/10 of a percent if that's necessary. On 1 and 4, you don't have to round, okay? 1 and 4, you don't have to round. So I'm letting you know. Okay, let's look at number 9. And I forgot to put 4 up there the last time, but this is number 9. 36, what percent of 36 is 30? N percent times 36 equals 30. Next step, divide by 36 on both sides. That's what that line means, dividing. So then we took the 30, put it on the inside, 36 on the outside, add a 0, and away you go. Number 9. Now it does have a decimal in its percent answer. Don't know if that's going to be a repeating or you have to round, but you may have to round that one. Now, let's do this one, okay? All right, so 36 doesn't go into 30, but it goes into 300. Let's try 8 times. 6 times 8 is 48 straight. 8 times 3 is 24, 28. 288. Put my decimal up here, don't forget that. Borrow from the 3, 10, borrow from the 10, make it a 9. 8 minus 10, 10 minus 8 is 2, 9 minus 8 is 1. Add a 0, bring it down. I'm guessing 3. 6 times 3 is 18. Add a 1, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 108. Yeah, this looks like one that's going to end up being repeating. So, because look what happens here. I borrow from the 2, make it a 1, and when I subtract, I get 12 again. That's what I got there. So it's going to keep repeating a 3. So then, when I change it to a percent, I move 2 places over, 83.3, and then 3, as it keeps repeating, we're going to round up to the nearest 10th place. So, find a place, go next door, 5 or better, add 1 more, 4 or less. Yep, or 4 or less. So that's going to stay the same. There's the answer. Played the rounding game. Okay? So the answer for number 9, I gave you. Looky there. Okay? Now, number 14. Here we go. 40 and 86. Okay, now be careful on these last two. All right, here's what I'm going to tell you. See, because you got n% times 40 means equals 86. Divide by 40. If you looky there, we're going to actually have a number that's more than 100% here when you figure it out, because your top number is the number that goes in the box. So you're actually, 40 actually does go into 86 before we add the decimal. All right? This one will not have a repeater. It will actually work out. But it goes 2 places after the decimal. I'm just going to tell you, 2 places after the decimal. All right? You solve that one on your own. One more. Number 17. This one is, what percent of 21 is 24? N% times, that's what of means, 21 means equals 24. Step 2, divide by 21. Last part, put 24 in the box, put 21 on the outside. Recognize again, where 21 will divide into 24. We'll get a whole number in front of the decimal, and then you'll get more afterwards. Remember, after you get your answer, change it to a percent. Move your decimal 2 places to the right. This one has possibly got an opportunity to be a repeating decimal, so watch out, okay? So you're going to have a decimal in that answer as your percent. So be careful with that one. Okay, so you're at least going to go 3 places past the decimal on this. Good luck with those, all right? Questions, email me, let me know, okay? Have a good day.